Hello, everyone. Back at the Supper Suite at South by Southwest in Austin. And we are super lucky today because we have great sponsors like Blue Moon. And because of sponsors like Blue Moon, we could talk about all these cool movies that we're seeing at South by, including Run This Town. Guys, I saw it last night. A huge congratulations to all of you, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Ricky, I wanted to start with you, of course, because a first feature is not an easy feat to achieve. So I know you had some producing experience, but can you kind of paint a little picture of just your background and how the day came when you said, I need to make a feature?
Sure. I, at the age of 8 months, was put into commercials, and
this is gonna be a long answer.
Yeah.
We're gonna fill your Wikipedia page with this answer.
I was on the back of the phone book across the country in South Africa, and I guess I liked it. I think as a kid, I became fascinated with the process of making movies and telling stories, and when I got into production, the producer of this movie, Randy, I started interning for him. I was his intern 10 years ago. And I told him, I think the first week I was there, I was like, I want to direct a movie. And he was like, why don't you file some stuff first? Cool. But Randy was really generous with his time and taught me about production and about the other side of putting movies together, which I think came in really handy when I knew what I wanted my first script to be, because I knew that I wanted to get it made, and I thought there was a way to make this movie that I wanted to tell. So the production experience and producing came in handy for me in that way. When I was, in some ways I reverse engineered the script to make sure that I could get this movie made.
Huh. I'm just curious now, what was point one? Like, what was one of the biggest things that you needed to make sure you were able to do through your script in order to get the green light or the financing you need?
Because
this also just seems like a big first feature, too. Like, even the scope feels big to me.
We shot it in 21 days.
It's
crazy. Like super indie, but he made it look like a massive production. Like, I mean, you did a great job of
Thank you.
The production value is amazing for
it really is.
The budget, and it's amazing.
Yeah, we had an amazing crew that helped put it together, and I think it all starts from character and making sure that there are characters that speak to audiences and speak to actors, so you can bring people on that entice people to see the movie and finance the movie.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the characters, just so we can get a little roll call here, and also just because our viewers probably do not know what this movie is just yet, can each of you just tell me where your character fits into the story? But I don't know, to spice it up a little, they do some good things in the movie, they do some not good things in the movie. What is one admirable quality about your character that you kind of want to keep with you?
I play a character named Bram, and he is fresh out of college. He's a Jewish boy like myself, and he dreams of being a journalist, and he studied journalism in school, and he gets hired by a fictional paper called The Record in Toronto to be sort of a low-level reporter, writing top 10 lists and best brunch spots and things like that, and then gets involved sort of very much by chance in a scandal and is able to sort of sink his teeth into something a little meatier. And I think something admirable about him would probably be that he has a real blind ambition and sort of doesn't listen to, for better or for worse, doesn't really take to heart too much the people above him sort of telling him to stay in his place, and really goes for the gold and goes for broke, which is great at certain points in the film and not so great at other points.
You need that blind ambition if you're going to take a job that puts you on the street and makes you do man on the street interviews, because I did that at my first job, and it was one of the most soul-sucking experiences of my life.
Oh my God.
And watching that one scene just took me right back to it.
I play a character named Ashley, and Ashley is the only one in the movie that crosses between both storylines, between Ben's character, and he's the journalist trying to unravel Rob Ford's story and his scandal, and then obviously Mena works for Rob Ford, and I work for Rob Ford as well, but I cross in between the two storylines. And the one redeeming, not one,
There's only one. Give yourself more credit.
One of the redeeming qualities or positive, I just think that she's a really strong character, and she maybe doesn't know or recognize her strength at the beginning. She's stubborn, and she's in a position that frustrates her, and she has to do and stay in positions that she wouldn't probably have stayed in otherwise, but because of circumstance, she's forced into a bit of a corner, and then ultimately chooses to get out of it and find her strength and act on her pride, her courage. She finds her way, and she's kind of a badass by the end. Sorry, I just watched the movie for the first time yesterday, and I'm still I'm excited about it.
I'm pocketing that for my follow-up question, just watching it for the first time. But Mena, can you tell us a little bit about your character too?
Yeah, I play Kamal. I play Rob Ford's right-hand man and special assistant, the guy who kind of runs his life. And yeah, I think he's a loyal guy, and he's hardworking, and everybody has a line. So it's a journey of finding what your line is, but he's loyal, and that's something that I admire about him.
I thought you meant line like a pickup line. Everyone has a line. I was like, ooh,
Everyone
what is
has
it?
a
What's
line.
Kamal's line?
What's Kamal's line?
How do you get the ladies?
No. A line where you call it quits, or
Yeah, no, I got it. I figured it.
More
I got there
different lines.
eventually.
Yeah.
It just anyway, Scott.
Oh, me? Okay. No, I play a character named David. I'm an editor at the newspaper where he works, and I'm kind of a grumpy, mean, kind of a jerk to this guy. Not a lot of redeeming qualities. In fact, I've been sitting here during all these answers, and I can't think of one redeeming quality. I don't know. What do you think? He sticks to his guns?
Give me a shot when I
Yeah, I give him a shot.
Sense of humor.
He's a very light on his feet, great sense of humor. No, it's a
he's
great.
Barney, really.
Yeah.
I can think of a redeeming quality.
Okay.
I mean, you clearly had to interview people for this new position because you wanted to do less.
Right.
So in
You
your
did more work
selfishness,
on my character
in
than
your
I did,
selfishness, you were selfless by giving him an opportunity.
Selflessness.
Okay, I think that's accurate. Maybe you should add a pickup line for the character
Yeah,
too, just
pickup
in case.
lines. He's got a lot of pickup lines and selfless.
One thing I really wanted to ask you guys about, because when I was prepping for this interview, I was Googling around, and one of the first things I saw was one of your responses to a little bit of online criticism, and I was curious to get your take, especially like for the two of you, because you've been a part of so many fandoms, and I think those kinds of things have just been bolstered big time with social media and just the immediacy of the internet. So I'm just curious how you kind of dealt with that while you were making the movie, and what you think the influence of the internet and social media is on telling stories like this, where it's the truth and some of it's also fictionalized as well.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. No, that's okay. I mean, I've certainly dealt with it with Evan Hansen and in Pitch Perfect, and you know, there's always something that people are, particularly these days, wanting to really sort of glam onto, and I think, you know, a lot of intentions are really good and wanting things to be as sort of politically correct as they can be, and as open as they can be, and as sort of truthful as they can be, but I think that sort of a general theme that social media sort of has presented to us is taking things at face value that don't have all the information quite yet. Like sort of Ricky put it really well in an interview we were doing earlier today, and saying that a lot of things are sort of boiled down to 140 characters in the sense that people don't sort of take the time to read further into a story or to get all the details, all the information before making a judgment call, because they're really quick to sort of wanting to fight for their own cause, whatever that cause may be. And so I think it just falls to us to really help people be patient and let them see the story that we're trying to tell, and tell it with all the nuance that we're trying to tell it with, and with all the details we're trying to tell it with, before passing any judgment about who it represents or who it doesn't represent, or any sort of political stance it's taking. I think it's difficult to make any comment on that until you've seen the film itself or whatever project you're talking about.
Are we allowed to drop mics?
Yeah, that was a that was a pretty eloquent response.
I think that it's important in this day and age to do your own investigation into something, because there might not be an investigation behind a 140 character tweet, no matter who it's from, and it's important to get your own facts. To know for yourself, you could have your stances on issues, but you can't base your stances on 140 letters.
There's definitely that, but I also wanted to ask you in particular, why tell this story with that component? Because I think true stories have tons of space that they should have on the big screen to spread awareness, but I also think that, we get a lot of news all the time, so in your movie you have to add more to the conversation. So what was it about these characters and these elements that you introduced that you think add to that story?
I wanted to tell a story about people that I knew and I grew up with in a way that I thought was honest and wasn't looking at them through rose-colored glasses. And, you know, it's my first feature, and I wanted it to be something that I knew deeply and personally. And I think there's a little bit of me in each of these characters. Bram's experience is very similar to my brother's experience when he was trying to become a journalist and he couldn't. He was updating the lower thirds of a 24-hour news station's screen with the AP Newswire overnight after he graduated from journalism school. And then eventually he was let go in a massive layoff from a media company. And it's because journalism isn't the same as it used to be. And I wanted to tell that story. And Nina's character, Ashley, was very much based on a friend of mine who went to law school and couldn't get a job as a lawyer when she graduated. She tried really, really hard. Eventually, she found a job in an area of law that she was not interested in working in for somebody that she was not comfortable working for, who made her very uncomfortable, but she had student debts to pay. And she felt like she was in a corner and she didn't have many options. And I wanted to tell that story because people often ask my friends, like, why didn't you just leave the job? But it's not that easy. There are shades to every person, and I wanted to tell that story, you know, about people that I knew.
Told it, and you told it with a real unique style too.
Thank you.
That really was just like so in your face right at the beginning, and I didn't expect it, and it was a pleasant surprise.
Thank you.
I have to wrap up. Wait, really quickly. Let's do some super fast random questions here. They're safe, they're fun. Pass the mics around
You have
however you
10
please.
For Scott.
What TV show would you love to guest star on?
Oh man, Handmaid's Tale. That's not true.
That's
but
a
okay.
great choice though. Own it.
Pen 15 on Hulu.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Fam.
Ooh, I can make that happen.
What's fan?
It's the show I'm on. Thanks for being supportive.
I don't know, but Reprisal on Hulu's coming out soon, and I think you should all watch it.
Good call.
That's so crazy that you say that's actually the show called The Politician that's also coming out on Netflix
and
that I
I'm on
heard
a
is
show
actually
called-
pretty good. So, yeah.
There might be something called Aladdin that people should watch too.
Oh,
May 24th, 2019.
There you
Yes,
go.
that's coming out as well. 24th. 21st is the premiere, though, but I don't think I'll be able to get you a ticket.
Oh, we didn't get our invitations.
What line of movie dialogue do you quote the most?
Did we just become best friends?
Where's that from?
I think you gotta know what it is if you're gonna. What is that from?
You know.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
Will
highly
Ferrell?
quotable movie.
Is it Will Ferrell?
It's both of them.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Will Ferrell too. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
It's a good one.
Thank you.
Or, oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
I'll go for him. Can I go for you?
Yeah.
I feel like this one would have been yours anyway.
Yeah.
It's from Mean Girls.
Yeah. Probably.
There's the 20% chance it's raining right now, and it's pouring rain in the background. Yes, I just broke my breast. You're welcome. Next.
Amanda Seyfried is perfect in that role.
That would have been
I
yours,
guess
right?
I grew up watching only like a number of movies, but Lee, what the hell wrong with you, man? That's Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. Just in case.
That's a pretty good
Chris Tucker
impression.
impression.
What? Was it?
Last one here.
Wait, do you get to do
Oh, I want to ask so many.
No, he-
Oh,
he-
you want to add one?
No.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he's actually good. Do it. Go.
What?
Do you know that one?
Well, there's I quote something all the time, and I actually have no idea if it's real or if my friend and I know that we heard it somewhere in a movie or a television show, and we don't know what it is. So if anybody knows where this is from, please let us know. It's just, well, I'm here, and you're here, and there's no, and you fill in the blank, because I think it's, and there's no car, or, and there's no food, or something like that. But I don't know what that's
I feel
from,
like you're
or if we
reverse engineering
imagined
another
it.
movie here. All right, one more. Let's go with, what's the worst job you've ever had?
I worked in a grocery store in Markham, Ontario, and I was the shelf boy, and I couldn't even do that because I got fired.
Oh.
I've had a lot of insane jobs, but I guess the worst out of all of them was overnight baker.
That's tough.
Whoa.
Wow, yeah.
I did it for 2 nights. I couldn't handle it. Then I did room service after that.
How long did you last in the room service?
What kind of room service are we talking about?
Family show. I did it
it's
for
not.
8 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not bad.
it's
Better
not
than 2
bad.
days.
Yeah. And then I was a tour guide
A tour guide where?
in Toronto.
Oh,
Double-decker tour
nice.
Did that last a
Wow.
while?
bus. Yeah, big yellow bus, 2-hour circuit.
Crazy.
Take anytime.
Those all sound terrible.
I worked. My first job was as I did paper routes.
Okay, I think a lot of people.
Except I was like 5,
Oh, that's young.
and my brother was 10, and I didn't realize that I was doing child labor and I was doing his job and he was getting paid for it. But I thought it was like bonding brother-sister time, and really he was just making me do his work while he got.
He's industrious.
Wow. Dark.
You ever had a job?
I liked the job itself. I was a camp counselor at a Jewish summer camp, but the part of it that I really didn't like was having to. I had a kid who was really behaviorally really difficult, and we had to make sort of the group decision as a staff that he couldn't really stay at camp, and we had to break it to him that he had to go home, and that was really
That's the
difficult.
most relieving thing to do as a counselor, is to get rid of the person you don't ever want to see again in the cabin.
Yeah, but it was sad because I wanted it to work out, but it just
Sometimes you just can't.
he had no ability to respect authority. It was sad. He's doing fine now, though. He came back the next summer.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I was a janitor at a school for.
Shut
Yeah,
up! Can
at
you guys
night.
imagine this guy being your janitor?
Well, I was very bad and
You
delinquent.
definitely stuffed kids into lockers.
No, I mean they weren't there. It was during the summer. Like I was at the school at the same. But no, that was my really only job. I've never really had jobs.
You guys got one of the best jobs in the world here. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Huge congratulations on the movie. Guys, run this town. Check it out. Keep an eye out for it. From the Supper Suite here in Austin, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.